Okay, good morning. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. We have a amazing treat for you guys. We're very honored to have in the house with us Richard Torrez Jr., a Olympic hopeful, and he's going to talk to us about his journey. And I just wanted to go really quickly about the possibility. They are our norms, being positive, respectful, and responsibility. Uh, if you have any questions, you type them on the chat, and our teachers will be screaming them and asking them. And possibly we could also unmute the microphone at the end. And if you have any questions, you can get to talk to him as well. All right, and we have the 8 traits. I'm just gonna go really quickly. 8 traits of a sports personship. And we'll see which ones you see our speaker presents. You need courage. You need good judgment, integrity, kindness, definitely perseverance. You need a lot of perseverance. Respect, responsibility, self-discipline. Self-discipline, so important. Okay, thank you. So this is Richard Torrez, and he is a super heavyweight from Tulare, California. And I'm gonna play a introduction video here. I can't stop. Great. Awesome, thank you. Turn that off. So again, for those that just are joining us, we got 69 people in the house. And we have the honor and privilege of having Richard Torrez here with us. He is a young kid, a very good role model for our students. And we thought it will be a great way to start the year to help us be motivated. teach us, share with us his story, his journey of what are the things that he has done to get to this point in his career. He's going to be telling us about his story, but he's going to be trying a qualifier for the Olympics coming up. And welcome, Richard. How you doing?
Hi, how's it going?
Thank you. I'm gonna stop sharing, and then I'm gonna pin you so we could have questions. So, Richard, you wanna start about when did you start boxing? Tell us a little bit about your family. I know you're
Yeah, no,
I know. No,
great.
do whatever you need to do. That's okay. We really
Okay.
appreciate your time. I know it's the first day of school, and it's amazing that you're
Yeah,
here.
no, yeah, sorry about that. But yeah,
No,
so a
that's
little bit about
fine.
myself is my name is Richard Torrez. I boxed for the Team USA. I have been on Team USA I've been on the elite national team for the past 4 years. I haven't lost in the United States in the past 7 years, and I'm currently ranked number 3 in the world. Uh, I'm from a town called Tulare, California. That's
Whoa, whoa,
about
whoa,
four.
whoa,
Yeah, that's about 4 hours away from you guys. Um, and I'm currently you said, I'm currently on track to the 2021 Olympics now. I have one more qualifier in Argentina. If I do well in that qualifier, then I will be qualified for the 2020 Olympics. They're still called the 2020 Olympics, even though they're in 2021. I don't think they want everybody to change all the banners and everything like that. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I started boxing when I was 4. The first time I got in the ring, I was 4. First competition I ever had, I was 8. I've been boxing all my life, so I've been boxing, kind of going through when you guys were like your guys' age too, and I mean, it's tough. It's tough trying to pursue a goal. I mean, in anything you do, you know, I chose boxing, but I understand really how like the struggles that there is. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication. Um, I remember back when I was your guys' age, I missed a bunch of field trips. I missed, I couldn't go hang out with my friends all the time. I would hang out, I would do my homework, and then I had to go to boxing. When I went to high school, I took 2 AP classes, and then on top of that, I had 3 sports, and then I would still box on top of that. Um, and so, I mean, I know where you guys are coming from on trying to manage time. They say you can only have 3 things. You have athletics, a social life, you have athletics, social life, and then your education. You can pick 2 of the 3. And so, you know, my social life kind of went to the side a little bit, but it was definitely worth it. You know, I've been to over 13 different countries. I've traveled all over the United States, and I wouldn't be able to do any of that without boxing. I mean, I remember being your guys' age and, you know, thinking, man, I really hope I could travel at least one day, you know. And now I'm getting paid to travel. You know, USA Boxing pays me, uh, and it's you know, it's a dream come true kind of. And I just, I mean, I know what everyone says, like you got to grind through things and you got to love the grind. You got to love every part of what you're gonna do. And I'm telling you guys, the grind's hard. Like no one likes to grind. You know, you'll get inspirational people saying, "Oh, you gotta love the grind. You gotta enjoy it." That's that's not true. I mean, you can hate the grind. I hate the grind sometimes. I hate being able to wake up at 6 in the morning, having to go run, and afterwards having 3 more practices. You know, I mean, no one really likes that. But you have to have your end goal in mind. Once you have your end goal, the grind doesn't seem so hard anymore. You got to be able to push through that in order to see the bigger picture, you know. And along the way, have like a little like short-term goals, you know. My long-term goal was always the Olympics. That was always the thing that I've always wanted to do. But in along the way, I had these little short-term goals: win a competition, do good at practice, you know, beat my friend in practice. And so with those short-term goals, that really helped me progress further, because I feel like if I didn't have any of those short-term goals, I really like I'd probably stop, because I wanted to be in the Olympics since I was 8. since I was 4. I remember running around the playground, raising my hands up, saying I'm gonna be Olympic champion one day. And these little goals really helped that dream become a reality. And I mean, I boxing's the path I chose, but I mean, I think it goes hand in hand with anything you guys are pursuing. I mean, whether it's academics, whether it's a different sport. I mean, these little goals that you could set for yourself really do make a difference. And then you just have to stay consistent. I didn't start off running 10 miles every day. I didn't start off doing 3 to 4 practices. What I started doing is like maybe a mile a day. I would go to boxing, just kind of hang out. I try to do the workouts every now and then, and from there it just grew up. It just grew because I kept going. And that's when you have to push through the grind. That's when the grind really is there, is the times you don't want to go. And so you got to push through those little bits, those little opportunities, that the barriers. And I just think that's really the only thing that separates like an elite level athlete from a non-elite level athlete is someone sticks to it. I mean, I really believe that anybody could be here, that anybody could be in my shoes right now. You just have to stick to it. You have to be able to, just bite down on that mouthpiece that we say in boxing, and just continue forward. But yeah,
We're so happy that you're talking about goals, because that's exactly what we're reviewing right now, and it's the perfect time in perfect time to of the year to set your goals, right? The short-term goals that will get you to the long-term goals. And yes, it takes a lot of sacrifice, like you're saying. Socialize, something has to give up, but it's gonna pay at the end.
Exactly. Yeah, I missed my senior prom. I missed like 1/3 of my senior year. I mean, it doesn't really sound that much anymore because everyone has COVID, but I mean, everyone with the whole COVID thing, everyone's like not able to go to school. So you guys are really making a lot of sacrifices yourself. But yeah, I understand the struggle, and I know you guys are going through it too. And you just gotta keep that goal in mind.
That's great. And can you tell us about your you said you were 4 years old when you started coach
Yeah.
boxing.
So I was there's a story that my dad would tell me, is that when my mom was pregnant with me, he'd hold his hands up to her belly and try to get me to punch his hands to the womb. So the story is I've been boxing since birth. But first time I got in the ring, I was 4. The gloves would go up to my elbows. But it was interesting. It wasn't really, like I said, it wasn't me, trying to run a marathon or anything like that. It was just me getting in the ring, trying to move around and stuff. But yeah, it started me off on a path that I really grew to love. And first time I got in the ring, I was 8. My first national competition, I was 10. I lost my first national competition, and then I mean, I just kept going. So, and now I am, I believe, 12-time national champion. I haven't lost in the United States, like I said, in the last 7 years. And I've won numerous international competitions as well. Golden gloves is a big thing that everyone knows. I've won golden gloves. I won national golden gloves, and I won the best boxer at golden gloves as well. That was in 2017. And yeah, so it's been a journey.
That's great. So how did you find your coaches?
So my dad is actually my coach. It runs in the family. But with that being said, I do have Olympic coaches as well. And so our Olympic coach, Billy Walsh, is actually from Ireland. They brought him overseas. He did really well in Ireland. And so they brought him to train us too. There's also Kay Karoma. He's in Houston. He used to be in the USA coach, and he still helps me out sometimes. But it is me and my dad. My dad, that is my main coach. That's my guy.
That's your guy. That's your motivation, and you're making him proud. Oh my goodness, what a honor, and we need a lot of our students to follow and to get inspired and to whatever it is that they want to do. Right, like you said, not just boxing, but whatever it is that they want. So consistency. What's the discipline? How do you apply the discipline that you have in boxing in life? and anything else?
So I think the main thing, one of the main things I learned from boxing is, I mean, you got it has to get done. You know, there's sometimes my weight class is a super heavyweight, so I fight, you know, the biggest of the biggest. The average super heavyweight is about 6'5", 250 pounds.
Mm.
I'm about 30 pounds less than that, and I'm about 6'2". So I get in there with some of the big guys, and you look at them. You know, some of them might be intimidating. Some are usually a lot bigger than you, and you're like, all right, man, let's get this done. You know, you can't. There's no backing out. You set up your goal up. You set what you're supposed to do, and you're gonna do your best. You're gonna do it to your best ability. You know, like once you have that goal in mind, I really think you should have to try to see it out at least. And so that's one thing that kind of boxing showed me, is that like once you're in it, you know, stick with it.
Did you ever get nervous?
Oh, all the time. Yeah, all the time. My first nationals, I was petrified. You know, it's just, but with the continual boxing and keeping going, different national tournaments, different competitions, it really had helped a lot. And so I still get nervous, but not as much.
Yeah, I think getting nervous is it's necessary.
Oh, exactly.
It's necessary to get you pumped and to get you ready.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good. Let's see. Now we're going to go through some of the questions that some of the kids have turned in. How tall are you? No. Let's see. What is this? So, what's the biggest, the hottest fight or boxer that you have box?
So actually, recently, if you guys look me up, I I fought a guy that was 6'9" from Uzbekistan, and I lost that fight. I actually got knocked out during that fight.
Oh,
That was a tough tournament for me. It was in the qualifier. It was in the quarterfinals of the World Championships, um, and I got hit with a lucky shot. You know, he was a really tall dude. You know, and I got hit with one lucky shot, and it put me out. But you know, that's why we're coming back. You know, that's another reason. I mean, everyone says you know, the failure, if you fail, you know, it's like, oh, don't worry about that, it's for next time, and you know, you'll get back, you'll do that. I actually think you should embrace the failure. You know, you should be able to be sad about it. You know, you should be able to, you know, take that in, and you know, yeah, it hurts. You let it hurt. Don't let, if everyone tells you, you know, don't worry about it, then it kind of doesn't make sense. You know, it kind of doesn't give it the full effect. I kind of I'm one for embracing it and allowing it to hurt, but you can't let it stay with you. You know, so you can let that pain be there, but you can't let that affect. You can't let that take control of what you want to do. So it's in the back of my mind still, but I'm using that to better myself. I'm using that to, you know, work on my defense now. I'm using that to you know, train a little harder, to run a little faster. And so just use the failures to your benefit. Don't sulk on them.
yes, I think they're necessary. Will make you stronger.
Exactly.
And yeah, you learned.
We have a question. How helpful was it for your father to motivate you to start boxing?
Oh, it was extremely helpful. I mean, I don't think I'd be boxing without my dad. With that being said, it's not always fun going home with the coach. Some of you guys might know that. But I mean, I'm very thankful for everything he's given me. Without him, his help or anything like that, I don't know where I'd be.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Let's see. What was your worst injury?
So my worst injury, I would have to say, was a concussion. If you do get knocked out, it is a concussion. But I mean, there's little things here and there, you know, like hands. Like if you hit someone too hard, your hand will get hurt. But I mean, other than that, I really try not to get injured in boxing. I mean, I take all the precautions necessary to stay healthy. You know, icing, stretching, all that stuff. I got to start doing a little more of it again. But I mean, I really do try to be preventative in injuries.
Is boxing something you've always wanted to do, or have you also been interested in trying something else?
So yeah, that my dad, who's my boxing coach, has actually been really helpful with that. Um, I had to box until I was 16. That was one thing that was kind of stirring in my family. But my dad did allow me to play other sports. I played, football, soccer, basketball. I did track. I t-ball when I was a little kid. I mean, I played a lot of sports, and I mean, I always went back to boxing, and I think that's I'm really thankful my dad kind of kept that. He said, box until you're 16, and if you still like it after you're 16, then you can keep going. If not, you don't have to do it anymore. But having that one sport that was always there, it really did help.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I liked football a lot, but boxing's my dream.
Did you ever have a moment where you wanted to quit boxing?
I think so. I think there's been a couple of times, when I was younger, where I mean, it gets tough. I mean, all the school. Um, I was valedictorian in high school. I played 3 sports, and then I boxed on top of it. It was difficult. Um, there were moments where me and my dad would kind of get into little arguments. Would you say, where it's like I don't know if I want to do this anymore, and then that's again why I'm really thankful for my dad. He's the one that's there. He'll help me, just remember my goals. Having peers and people that can really help you remember what your goals are and help you through them. I mean, it helps the world. And so my dad, my mom, my sister, my friends, my family, they really did help a lot to keep me going and keep me motivated.
Mhm.
Leading up to the next question, what's the most inspirational piece of advice you have that keeps you going?
Ugh. One of the most inspirational pieces of advice is actually came from Muhammad Ali. He said, I hated every day of training, but I thought to myself, suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. We're all going through trials. Everyone's going through something kind of hard right now, but realizing that end goal to be a champion in whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be boxing, it doesn't have to be anything. But if you suffer now, you get through that grind. You just persevere. I mean, it'll be worth it in the long run. And then Eric Thomas also said, um, suffer now. It may take a minute, a day, a year, a month, or even a year. Um, but eventually the pain will subside and something else will take its place. But if you quit, it'll last forever. So, I mean, it's gonna be hard, painful, might hurt, but eventually that pain will subside and something else will take its place and it'll be for the benefit. But if you quit, that's it.
Um, what are your future life goals after boxing?
So after the Olympics, actually, I plan on turning pro. And that is my goal. I plan on being pro for a while. Hopefully, I'll be able to retire off that. Um, and then I'm kind of in the same place that everybody else is. I'm not too sure what it entails after professional boxing. I don't. I think it's really hard when parents or teachers would ask me when I was younger, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I never had that specific goal. So I don't think that was too necessary to have, but being able to try different things was really important for me. And so that kind of helped me find out that I wanted to be a boxer. That kind of helped me find out that I didn't really want to be a track person. That kind of helped me find out what I did and didn't want to do, and that it kind of narrowed it down to what I want to be, and that is boxing. um Afterwards, I don't know, I'll be with my dog, and that'll be enough.
Um,
You see the what's
what does it take to turn pro?
So turning pro in boxing isn't really like turning pro in other sports. You just need a couple fights actually, and then you can get your pro license signed. But the big thing, like the big thing right now for boxing is the Olympics. You go to the Olympics, that'll put you in a different class of just most professional boxers. It'll put you on another level, and it also helps with the signing bonus, and it helps with your promoter, manager, sponsors. That's the big thing in boxing. They kind of call it the Wild West of professional sports, just because it's not uniform in like who gets what. But it will definitely put me on a different level than just kind of having 1 or 2 fights.
How were you able to balance your academics and your training throughout your education?
That was tough. So what I would do is I would get up earlier. I would get up at like 6 in the morning. I'd run 3 miles. From there, I'd come home, shower, eat, go to school, do all my classes. Then I'd go to my after school sport. And then from my after school sport, I'd actually run to my boxing practice. And then after I ran to my boxing practice, I'd come home, take a shower, and then study until about like 11, and then go to sleep and repeat. It was difficult, but I mean, yeah, my social life kind of went to shreds. But it was something that I was really focused on. I mean, academics is something that I really care about, and I actually had options, which was really cool. It wasn't just boxing. I was actually about to go to Cal Poly, and a month after I graduated from my high school, the Olympic Training Center called me and said if I wanted to live at the Olympic Training Center. So it was a very tough decision for me because I do value my education so much. But I mean, from help from my mom, my dad, and everything, they said you can always go back to college. So I'm pursuing my Olympic dream, and it's good to have options. It's good to be in a tough spot like that as opposed to I don't have anything to do, you know. So I'm thankful for that.
Yes, right now they will boxing can take you to school, but yeah, go for the Olympics and continue your education.
Mhm.
That's number one.
Hi, Richard. I'm Danny. I'm Olga's husband. I have a question for you. So you know how I asked earlier, well, in the chat, that your father was supportive, he motivated you, and all that. What would you say to, like, if students, that are listening to you, that their parents aren't supportive, aren't motivational to them, they don't want them to do sports or whatever. Because I coach cross country, and one time I had a girl. She ran for me, and she was late coming home. Like I said, she was coming home at 6 o'clock. She got home maybe 6:15. We rushed her home, and then the father got all upset. Said, "No, you can't run anymore." That kind of stuff. Like that was like, oh man, it was like, come on, she was late 15 minutes. So what do you say to those kids out there that maybe their parents aren't supportive to their sports or to their goals?
I'd say one, you're in a tough spot. What I would do is I would find someone who is supportive of your goals. I'd find your coach, your cross country coach, and I'd really go to him. I'd listen more to him. I'd go to, if it's in academics, I'd go to your teacher. I'd ask them. I'd get an outside source, an outside option that would help better you, because it is. I mean, it's gonna be insanely tough if you have a discouraging parent for a sport you like. But if you truly do love it, find an outside source that will help you through it. I mean, it's always good. It's never wrong to ask for help. If it doesn't come from your parents, it could come from somebody else. And so really just try to find that. And if you really do love it, that's just another part of the grind.
I think that also goes for those kids whose parents are not there. A lot of our kids here, and everywhere, they come from underprivileged homes, and some of us are raised with, single parent home.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it takes a village to raise a child, right? So really do try to reach out. I mean, that's probably one of the best things I have to say. I can't really give better advice to that, because that it doesn't apply to my life, and I'm sorry about that. But that's kind of me outside looking in, and so.
No, but that's great. You're taking advantage of what you have, and everybody needs to reach out and take advantage of what they have and appreciate and do their best with what we have. So, because we do have, we have everything as well. So, but you have you have made an amazing decision to do boxing and to make the sacrifice and be consistent and, go for it and represent United States proudly. and we're very thankful for that. Um, do you? I'm not sure if you mentioned this. Single most memorable match. Most memorable match.
I'd say the most memorable match is when I was fighting in Bulgaria. I'm actually going to Bulgaria in next month, but it's called the Stranded Tournament. It's the third largest tournament in the world. I was in the finals against Bulgaria, and usually, most countries don't like the USA right now, but there was it was me versus the guy from Bulgaria, and so all the Russian and Slavic speaking countries, they're all chanting for Bulgaria, and then all the USA or the American countries and the Spanish speaking country, Canada, and anyone else speaking English was cheering for USA, and it was the finals. It was roaring. I couldn't even hear I couldn't hear my coaches when I was in the corner. It was so loud, and I was able to win that fight, and I took best boxer of that tournament, and that was really one of my favorite fights.
Oh, wow. My friend Bulgaria, I think Julieta, she's not here today, huh? Julieta, you're in the house? She's from Bulgaria. She would love to hear that. Anyways.
Richard, sorry, Ms. Camacho, I'll cut
Go
you
ahead,
off.
go ahead.
Hey, I'm Mr. Pan. I'm one of the other PE teachers from Berkeley High School. Now, I'm not very familiar with boxing and the different leagues. I'm not sure is that like the right way to say it, but could you kind of tell me the difference between going pro versus going to the Olympics? What's the difference between that?
Yeah, so currently Olympics are still considered amateur boxing. So the best way to explain it is in professional boxing, there's kind of a system. If you're a really good professional boxer and you just turn professional, you don't start off fighting the best of the best. You kind of work your way up, and then until a title shot or something like that. But the amateur boxing is still considered amateur, but it's the top tier of amateur. So if I could, it's kind of like pro, Olympic level boxing, elite level professional, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain just because it is very different than most of the other sports. But amateur boxing is the spotlight for how well you will do in the pros, basically. If that kind of makes sense.
I think it makes sense. Could you? Yeah, because I'm not very familiar with like any type of like the fighting and the combat type of sports, right? So, it's just interesting to hear another perspective. So could you kind of, how about comparing it to like the MMA or something? Like, is there a difference between MMA and boxing? Just kind of share a little bit difference of the realm of boxing, because I know a lot of my students and the students in San Francisco in general, never watched boxing or never heard of boxing, or just heard of, it's just a combat sports with gloves, but could you kind of share light of what's to look for, kind of,
Boxing is hand-to-hand combat. It is just punches. So if anyone doesn't know that, it's not like kickboxing or anything like that. It's not MMA. I really don't want to take an elbow. I've taken one elbow before and that really hurt. I give a lot of respect to all the MMA guys with their with all the other different types of styles they know. Boxing, they call it the sweet science. It's stand up. It's more kind of like a chess match, as opposed to MMA, which is very action packed. And not to say that boxing doesn't have any action, but I mean, MMA goes crazy sometimes. How to explain it is, and one of the big things that's different from boxing and MMA is MMA is run by Dana White, and I think that all of their sponsors go through him as well. So you don't get outside influences, as opposed to boxing, where in boxing you pick your own promoter, you pick your own manager, and then you pick your own sponsors as well. So it's kind of a lot more individualized in the sport and how you could benefit from it. I mean, in MMA, in football, and different things like that, you're sponsored by your team. Your team just, or your company, and they decide for as a group who fights next, what's going to happen, right? And boxing is way different. Your promoter and your other guys have to sign contracts. You're not going to fight the best of the best all the time. You're going to fight which one might make the most money. That's why I see a lot of like YouTube guys boxing now. You know, it's the amateur boxing is really all about boxing. Professional boxing is really all about money, and I think that that's a little different between most other sports. The other sports is kind of like, all right, this is the best for the sport. And sometimes in boxing, it's the best for the money. Not saying that's a bad thing. You know, there's a lot of wealthy boxers out there that I'm thankful for, but that's one of the big differences between UFC and boxing is that one, the kicks and the elbows, and two, there's a boxing more like the wild west of how to go about things like that.
Hi, Richard. We have in the house, unfortunately, he has a new phone and he couldn't log in, but we have Paul Banky, which was our first champion here. Paul, he's right here. He would like to talk to you and say hi. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Richard, I'm glad you came on, bro. I appreciate you coming on. Richard, man, I'm a big fan of yours, bro. I'm a big fan. Can you hear me? I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I
of
can
you, bro.
hear you.
It's an honor to know you because you're like me and your dad were amateurs, and we were together. Your uncle Richard, but I mean Uncle Robert. But yeah, you're a top dog, man. You're one of the top amateurs of the bro. That's just to be like that is tough. Is good stuff, man. It's good stuff, man. Like I said, I'm a big fan of yours, bro. Big fan.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. He always says you're a top dog. Top dog.
And I know you're Louis Valenzuela's fighter.
What was that?
Louis Valenzuela said, that's his fighter. That's his fighter.
Yeah, one of the boxer guys in Louis, he always one of the coaches in down south, he always jokes around saying that we're gonna have the next competition together. Like him and I are gonna compete. So
they're always eyeballing each other all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, my Zoom thing's off. I can't get on Zoom.
Okay,
right now.
no problem. Well, thank you, Paul. At least you got to say hi to him, and we got him here because of you. Thank you so much for the connection.
Is it recording?
Yes.
I want to see the interview. I want to see the interview, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Richard, I want to wish you the best, bro. I want to wish you the best in your career. Go get that gold medal, Richard. And thank you for representing the United States, bro. Man, you're a bad boy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Again, top dog, top dog.
thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
From the champion, Paul Banky, the real Paul Banky. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. Oh, that was nice. We love Paul. He has joined us several times. And we are thankful to him for all the connections and for having you here as well. Let's see. So what did you want people, I know it's early in your career and you have a long, big future ahead of you, but so far, what do you want people to remember about Richard? Or know about you? Yeah, to remember you.
I would like to be remembered as someone that, you know, that's a tough question. I would like to be remembered as someone who
take your time, it's okay.
I would like to be remembered as someone who could have been anyone. You know, I really feel like my shoes are fillable, you know. I think it is really I really think that if you just take the time, the effort, the dedication, I do believe that anybody could be in my shoes. I mean, it's tough, but I see a lot of Olympic level athletes, a lot of elite athletes, a lot of professional athletes that what they do isn't abnormal. I mean, it seems crazy now, but how they started, you know, where they started from and what they started doing, it really just accumulated to be something great. And I really feel like that could be anybody. I really feel that if you just stick to it, you will be able to do it. But the only thing that gets in the way is that dedication is really hard to come by sometimes. And it's really hard to stay with something. And I know that because there's some things I haven't stuck with besides boxing, and there's some things that kind of fell to the curbside for me. But it's really about that, finding one thing that you you do you do realize you love. You may not know you love it at first, but stick to it for a little while, figure out if you love it, and try your hardest at it. And I mean, with a little faith, luck, and pixie dust, hopefully it'll work.
It will. It will. We don't want any regrets whatsoever. And is there anything that you regret so far?
I don't think so. I mean,
Give it a go.
yeah, I think that most of my mistakes I've made have been beneficial to me. I think I love the spot that I'm at right now. I love the position I'm in today. And I feel like without any of the mistakes I made or any of the things I did, I wouldn't be here. So I am pretty thankful for everything I've done.
Great. And I believe, Ms. Rocio, if you don't have a question, I believe your dad is in here, right? Mr. Richard, can you turn your camera on? Or maybe he left.
Might have. He's at school as well too.
He's also taking classes?
No, he's actually he's a vice principal at a local high school.
Ah.
And so he might have stopped by to see if I'm doing all right. But and then if I was struggling too much, he'd probably try to save me. So
Oh, what a nice father.
You see me, Olga?
oh, there he is.
Oh, he is here. So we want to congratulate you for doing an amazing job with your son here. It's incredible, this journey. And me having 4 kids, I know how hard it is.
It's a tag team effort. Me and my wife, and it's a community tag team effort. So I appreciate it, and we appreciate you interviewing him. Thank you.
We know. No, thank you for taking the time.
There's 2 names.
Yes, one is the father and one is the son. Yeah.
So nice you have to say it twice.
That's great. As a mom, I know, like I was saying, as a mom and dad, my husband was here earlier as well, and it's tough, especially like he just asked me, if any of your kids wrestle, I would love to, but it not always happens that way. So you did whatever you did. It's great, and I think you are another one that we should interview for our parents to motivate us and to lead us, help us, tell us what is it that worked for you, So thank you again.
No problem. Anytime. I appreciate your once again interviewing my boy and putting him out there and making sure he gets known. Thank you.
No, for sure. And we are gonna keep our eyes on him because we know he's gonna do amazing things.
Yeah, if you guys actually want to follow my journey,
Oh, that's right.
you could add me on Instagram. It's the Richard Torrez, but D is spelled with 2 E's, Shakespearean. But and then Richard Torrez with a Z. And then I post usually about where I'm going, what I'm doing. And if you guys want to check it out a little bit, be sure to follow.
Yeah. How about on Facebook or anything else? You probably don't have Facebook, right?
I don't go on Facebook too often. I'm sorry, but I do. I do most of my social media through Instagram. That's kind of the big one for me right now.
Mm-hmm. Great. And someone wrote a book. Do you think someone can start too late in something like a goal, or then discourage them to even
So like a lot of the guys on the team, they started boxing. There's one guy on our team named Darius who didn't start boxing until after college, and so I do believe that. I mean, it did give me a head start. I'm not gonna lie, it did help me out a lot starting at a young age. But it's never too late. A lot of boxers start when they're in middle school. A lot of people start. A lot of people started later than that. So it's just the will to try it.
Yes, that's
someone also asked. Sorry, Olga. Someone also asked, how long is boxing? Like, is it 1 round or is it timed?
How many matches?
Yeah, so amateur boxing is 3 rounds, 3 minutes. It's and a professional boxing goes up to 12 rounds of 3 minutes each. So the best way I could kind of describe that is amateur boxing is more of a sprint, professional boxing is more of a marathon. And so
Ooh.
you'll see like professional boxers can actually fight in the Olympics now, but a lot of the big ones don't choose to, just for the fact that it's different pace. You know, like there's gonna be like 300-400 punches thrown in the amateur boxing ring. There's gonna be, you know, maybe 1,000 punches thrown in the other ring, but the professional punches are gonna be a lot slower and they're gonna be a lot harder. Amateur guys, they're gonna move around and they're really gonna try to just pick you apart with points. And that's a big difference between amateur and professional. And so yeah, 3 minutes, 3 rounds, a minute break in between.
Whoa. That's marathon.
Thank you.
Getting punched.
Some of the kids are interested also in your earnings. We keep asking, so I better ask now.
So my when I first started off, right, I had to pay to go to nationals. You know, I had to pay to go to some of these tournaments. I had to pay to get into some of these tournaments, right? And then I had to pay for my travel. So USA Boxing pays for my residence. They pay for me to stay at the Olympic Training Center. They pay for my food. They pay for my flights. They pay for all my travels. And then I get paid $2,500 a month on top of that. And then I get paid again if I medal at a big tournament. And then if I win into the Olympics, it's like you get like $40,000 or $50,000 from Team USA. And so it's really cool, you know. I mean,
don't forget your mental and dental, all your medicals.
I get insurance too. Yeah, I get full coverage insurance. And I would have paid to be in this position. That's the craziest thing to me. You know, I would have given an arm and a leg to be where I'm at right now. You know, when I was 15, 16, to be able to be here now and them to pay me to do it is mind blowing to me. You know, like I really feel like I should be paying someone else. And so, I mean, I love what I do. And so I'm thankful for all that. And with that being said, when you do get an Olympic gold medal, I mean, that would be great. But the professional bonus for that would be like crazy. I mean, that we're talking like millions there. If you do go to the Olympics and you get medaled, that's when the money starts hitting to go to professionals, because then everyone's going to want you. There's going to be signing bonuses. There's going to be sponsors. There's going to be promotion companies wanting to sign you too. And so that's where, you know, that's when the real stuff happens.
That's when all the sacrifice means something. It's like, oh, that's why I didn't have a girlfriend or I didn't go to prom, but hey, now I can do whatever I want.
Exactly.
Go anywhere I want. That's awesome. Ms. Silva asks, how are the weight classes determined?
So weight classes are usually determined. They're less at the lower weight classes, and they gradually increase until super heavyweight. So usually what happens in the weight class is, there's a max that you can hit. So like we'll talk about light heavyweight. Light heavyweight is you can't go above 201 pounds. And you can't go below 178 pounds, as opposed to like super lightweight. I think that's like you could be from 108 pounds to 112 pounds. So there's like a 4 pound to 20 pound difference. But once you hit my weight class, super heavyweight, there's no weight limit. It's really anything. I've fought guys I fought a guy that was 375 pounds one time.
Oh my God.
You know, I fought a guy that was, 6'8", 6'9". It's an interesting weight class, to say the least, for my weight class. But most weight classes, they do have a weight cap, and that's how they work, except for super heavyweight.
Ooh, that adds a heaviness to this. So now, go ahead.
What was your fastest? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. What was my
fastest knockout?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That was actually in the video. So it was the round had just started. It was about, I think, 15 seconds into it. I had fought this guy before, and we were fighting in Texas, I believe, this year. And the first time I fought him twice before. The first time I fought him, he boxed me, and I was a little intimidated. He was a really big dude. And he beat me. He beat me at nationals. Second time I fought him, I stopped him, and this is the third time I fought him. This time he kind of changed up his strategy, and he wanted to stand toe to toe with me. But I don't know if that was the best strategy for him. It was about 10, 15 seconds into it. He dropped, he got back up. I dropped him again, and then the ref called it. There's not always the big KO. There was 1, 2 in there where they're kind of out. But in amateur boxing, it's actually relatively safe because of the referee. You get 8 counts. The referee is very vigilant on if anything is going too wrong, he will step in so no one gets hurt. And so that's one of the benefits of amateur boxing too, is you're in a dangerous sport, so they take a lot of precautions to fix that, to help you out for that too. So
that's good. So we have 3 minutes, and we just want to end up with your last words for our kids. How do you want them to, what is it that you want the kids to remember you, like I said before, or what else you want to tell us, your last message to our students?
I think you guys should try a lot of different things. Don't think right now that you have one goal in mind and that's the only goal that's ever going to happen. I mean, there's so many options. I really think you should go out, try every different thing. I know it's kind of hard with COVID now, but it will subside, and then you will be able to really get to experience what you're going through. But try different sports, try different clubs. I was president of my chess club. Go to all the events. Really try to take the fullest experience of what you got, because it's 10 times better if you really do and you try and you go out and you experience and you're social with it. I think if you do that, you'll also find out what you like and what you don't like, and then it will really help you kind of pinpoint your true goal. So I've gone to ASB, and I didn't really like making posters, so that wasn't really for me. Then I went to chess club. I thought it was amazing. I stayed in that. I played with the teacher all the time, with my everything like that, and I became president of the chess club. I took English classes. I took art classes. I really tried to find out what I liked and what I loved, and that really helped me a lot, because it helped me find out what I didn't like too. But if you experience everything, I mean, knowledge gained is knowledge earned, and it really will help. That's why I'd say to you guys is don't think you're a one-hit wonder on like a certain subject or anything like that. Really try to experience everything.
Amazing message. Thank you so much, everyone here. Unmute your microphone and say thank you and wish him good luck.
Thank you.
In Argentina.
Thank you. Good
Thank
luck
you very
in
much,
Argentina.
Richard.
Yo, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. So you're very professional.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Say good luck. You're very inspirational. Follow Richard, Richard Torrez. Good luck.
And good luck, bro.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Follow him. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye, Mr. Rodriguez. Thank you very much. Thank you for having us. Thank you, Miss Silva, Mr. Pan.
Good luck, Richard.
Thank you.
Good luck. We wish you good luck. We wish you the best, and thank you for being here with us. Let's see.
Good luck. Thank